And welcome inside to the Sports Hour with Alex Garrett. Ahead of tonight's NLCS between the Dodgers and the Braves. By the way, sick background with 47. The clothing line and the hat line. They actually made this little LA versus Atlanta background, and I figured why not use it tonight to talk about how Game 5 ended. Okay, the Giants and the Dodgers Game 5 was what everybody on that coast by the bay in Los Angeles wanted to see. It's what baseball wanted to see too. Because how many years have we seen beat LA? Have we heard beat LA, beat LA? How many years have we seen the Dodgers basically dominate in the NL West? Well, for the first time in quite a while, the Dodgers had a opponent in the San Francisco Giants. 107 wins. Dodgers came in with 106 wins in the post entering the postseason. So this really was, monsters of the West. And the way that game ended, Mets connection aside, because Wilmer Flores, what his story is here. He didn't want to be traded, was crying at shortstop when he was about to be traded by the Mets. That whole thing, and then they win, and that helped them propel the 2015 World Series. But Gabe Morales on Thursday night at first base with the check swing basically, said he went around. And he explained that, they don't have all the angles. That when he first saw it, he thought Wilmer Flores went around. And this, my friends, is why baseball is beautiful and cannot be touched even more. The human error exists with the umping. The human error existed when they called that foul ball by Carlos Beltran in the Johan Santana no-hitter, which could have very well been called a fair ball. That was a crazy thing, but that led to the Mets' first no-hitter in history, thanks to Johan Santana. You've also gotten, I forget his name, I really shouldn't, but Armando Galarraga, having a no-hitter taken away from him by a bad call at first base by Jim Joyce. There you go. So human error happens. Human error will always happen. Human error happened when Derek Jeter hit an opposite field, and remember Jeffrey Mayer, opposite field homer, but really that should have been a double because there was interference over the wall. And yet, in 2021, we're now talking about check swings possibly being reviewed. We're now talking about eliminating all, human nature from the game. Basically, so also saying robots should call balls and strikes. And as we get ready for Game 1 tonight, had the Dodgers not struck out Flores, what could he have done next? Who knows? But we do know this. Human error is still very much part of the game. In fact, an error is one of the stat lines in baseball, is it not? And umpiring human error is very much part of the game. So let's not make everything reviewable. Let's not make every little thing reviewable because that takes away from the human nature of the game that we all love. By the way, I'm rooting for the Dodgers because I would love to see them win in a 162-game season, a World Series. When we were out in LA, and to be honest with you, all they did and all they had was World Champions 2020. And all I kept thinking to myself was, that's great, but that was only a 60-game season. Let's see you do it in 162. Let's see you do it when you get battered up through a whole year from April through September. Let's see you do that. Now you don't have Muncy. Now you don't have Kershaw. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, we're going to see. Because Max Scherzer seems to be holding his own. And he seems to be leading this rotation, which has a Bueller and a couple others. And the Atlanta Braves, the storyline there has to be, no doubt about it, has to be that they've been able to do this without Acuna Jr. who went down very early on in a collision in right field with the wall. And yet here we are. By the way, another note about tonight. This NLCS, this postseason marks the third time a 100-plus win team has hit the postseason as a wild card winner. 20 years ago, it was the Oakland Athletics. 20 years later, it's the Dodgers. And the third team in between all that was the 2018 New York Yankees. Yes, while people are frustrated with Booney and the way they've done it, the fact is they've also engineered 3 straight 100-win seasons prior to the pandemic. That was Boone's first 3 seasons, 100-plus wins. And now, staying at 106 wins, the Dodgers will not have home field advantage. That will go to the Braves. And it's going to be crazy to see how the Dodgers, who at 106 should, in any other year, have home field right now, took out the best team in the National League and looking to be the best team once again for what? Another year in a row? Aside from 19, they had been the NLCS championship in 18 and won it. Last year they won the NLCS, and this year they look to do it again. Dodger Town is going to be bleeding Dodger blue. I'm sure even in Atlanta. Will you? Who are you rooting for this rest of the postseason? Hit me up at alex@alexjnyc.com, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex Garrett with a NLCS preview. The check swing, a heard round the world. And by the way, that kind of reminds me, Giants, Dodgers, Bobby Thompson shot heard around the world. Well, many, many moons later, it's the check swing heard around the world. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the postseason. We'll be with you soon on Alex Garrett Podcasting, the Sports Hour with Alex Garrett, and on my YouTube at Alex Garrett. Yeah, I got to name the channel a little better. Anyway, have a great day, everybody.